Oh, we are live. Okay. We are live on Facebook. Hello, hello. Hello, Cocotas. Hello. Hello, Coco Constance. Hello, welcome, warriors. Thank you for joining me here. We are here also on Facebook, and I'm just gonna share. Ooh, let me share from Facebook, and we're going to jump in on today's conversation. Interesting episode today because we're talking the divine feminine, and we're also going to have an activation today as the divine feminine, right? We're having an activation. Okay, all posted. Okay, so thank you so much, Warriors of Light, for joining me. This is Warriors of Light show, and today we're doing episode 9 of our masterclass series. We've been doing this series throughout all of October, and we've had just the most amazing guests that have just been literally chosen by the guys because I can't even imagine the amazing guests that came and the divine transmissions that have been coming throughout. I don't know about you. I am still processing the whole October, and I am still integrating the wisdom that we've been receiving. We've been receiving so much wisdom from the divine feminine and so much wisdom from the divine masculine. And personally, for me, I've actually been really excited with the transmissions coming from the divine masculine because we really ever get that, you know? Uh, and the wisdom that has been coming through from our divine masculine guest has just been on another level and deeply affirming. Let's have a conversation here. Let me know what you have been, receiving, integrating from the last month, from what has been coming up in the sessions that we've been having. What has been moving and shifting you? Where have you been finding like aha moments? And yeah, I really would like to know because we do this. Everyone who's come here, we do this because we really want to open space for us Black people to return to our divine sacred wisdom, to also return to what we call the universal logos, the solar logos of joy, of abundance, of love, of deep connection with the self, deep connection with God, deep connection with other people. And I find that this beautiful container series that I'm doing is really facilitating that for me. And I hope it's also facilitating the same for you, where you're getting affirmations that it is safe for you to desire love, to desire joy. We've had conversation on the sacred unions, we have conversation on being part of this path as a healer, as a light worker, as a star seed, as a warrior of light. We've really gotten to know the inner wisdom of the body. We've really looked at African history, like the true history that you might have not known before. We've also really started to look at the multiple ways that we are meant to heal here, particularly as Black people, as African people, the need for, looking at generational trauma and particularly the lower the lower chakras, the root chakra, sacral, and solar plexus, and utilizing meditation to basically do this, to heal through journeying deeper into the inner realms. I cannot believe I just kind of summarized everyone's topic. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so that is what we have been having in the last month, and later on I will share what you may expect from the next month, because we're doing this, we're continuing to do this until end of November, and we will close and come back next year with another season, which is all about Black wisdom, joy, liberation, and just, yeah, abundance. Yes. Okay. So, as usual, let's begin today's transmission with grounding. And we will do this grounding by closing our eyes. And if you are in the ground, like you can feel your feet in the ground, I want you to become aware of your feet in the ground. And I want you to know that you're here, alive, breathing, and that you should take a deep breath and come to your heart. You may put your right hand in the heart and the other one in the solar plexus. Return to your higher heart, which is the doorway to God, higher realms, connection with your higher self, with your guides, the spiritual council of life. And become aware of the vastness of you, of your soul, your spirit, your divine essence. And you may see that divine essence as a diamond, the diamond in the center of your heart. And this diamond is blue light, blue spark of light. And begin to see it moving counterclockwise, recalibrating and basically clearing your field. All the pain you are holding in your heart, allow that to be sent to your diamond seed atom, and send all that pain, all those stresses of the day, of the week, down through your heart to your solar plexus, to your womb, and to your root chakras. And begin to see a thread from the heart moving from the root chakra and going into the earth, into the soil, like a root of a tree, and sending through this grounding cord all these energies of the day that you are surrendering, returning to the mother, our mother earth, who is a living, breathing, vibrational being. And allow this grounding cord to move through your earth star, which is the star that connects you to the earth, that keeps you grounded. And send it down through the earth star to the galactic core of the earth, where aurora light will transmute all the pain, all the worries, all the challenges of the week for you. And see the galactic core of Mother Earth as a bigger diamond, a big aquamarine blue spark of diamond that opens and is connected to the Sophia Christus architecture, Sophia Christus flame, which we invite and open ourselves to receive it. It's a healing light that comes back to you through the grounding cord, through the earth star, into your feet and your knees, your thighs, your womb area, stomach area, your chest, heart area, your throat area, and your face, going out through the crown, past the stellar gateway, which is a few inches, few centimeters from the top of your head, which opens up and connects you to your soul star, the star that connects you to your soul, which we open now to connect with this higher level of ourselves, which we invite into the space. And if you want, you may use the invocation. I call in my I am presence over my energy field right now. I call in my I am presence over my energy field right now. And as this energy moves into your body, we open up and connect ourselves to the great central sun, to the realms of our guides, our luminous ancestors, our guardians of light, our council of higher selves, and the Godhead, our Holy Mother, Father God. We receive and invite into the space Holy Light, Holy Spirit to be here to guide us, to lead us in this immersion. And we would like to activate the 12th dimensional shield, which you may see as a circular shield that surrounds your body now with platinum and aurora light, which allows you to be here, to be in your energy, in your frequency throughout this immersion. And begin to take a deep breath in and out. And open your eyes. Coming back, returning. Welcome back. Let me know how you are feeling today. And yeah, I feel good. I feel good myself. Today we are on a transmission on the divine feminine. And this is a conversation that's very close to my heart that I have been working with for a year now, more than a year now, 18 months or so. And where I'm feeling called because there is a rising in our world right now. And this is a rising of the return of the divine feminine, which is also known as the solar feminine Christ or the solar Christ feminine. And the solar Christ feminine or the divine feminine or the Christos Sophia, there are many names that we have for it. I am still looking for the name in our continent, in our languages here in Africa, what this phenomenon is being called. But there is a return of an energy, which is an ancient original energy that has been disconnected from our world for thousands of years, 100,000 of years or so. And now we are at the edge of this return. And so many of us were feeling the call of this divine feminine is calling us to reclaim it, to also bring it back to our world, bring it back to our work, especially as healers, as warriors of light, as star seeds, way showers, who are all here for the very purpose of helping this energy return to the earth. Right. So it's a very deep and painful history of our planet, but we do know that our planet has fallen, its consciousness has fallen for many millennia. And when we talk about fallen consciousness, we're talking about the fact or experience of being disconnected from God, being disconnected from the true original blueprint of who we really are as divine beings, as spiritual beings that were created by our prime creator, who we call the Holy Mother, Father God. And you might have different names for it, but we have that prime creator. And in recent 1,000 years, I say recent because our planet is a billion years old, billions and billions of years old. And we've been here for a really, really long time as humanity and went through many, many changes, many seasons. And one of the seasons that we were just in, it was the season of the rising of the mental. And the mental, as a principle, is a very masculine energy. And when we started to become mental, we focused on building things of the world, the material, the big buildings, the cars, the internet, which has been great because here we are connecting wherever you are with me while I am in Botswana, which is a beautiful thing. But while we were doing this very organic thing of working with our divine masculine, there was also a suppression of the divine feminine. And the divine feminine principle, it is that part of the original architecture, design, mechanic of the universe that is for creation, for life, for communion. It is that energy that springs in unconditional love, that springs in unity consciousness. It's existing in the divine feminine, right? And when we look at our world, what is problematic is this absolute absence of the experience of unconditional love, which means the feminine principle is not in our world. It's at least the original wholesome principle of the feminine is no longer in our world, has not been in our world for a while. And we know this because in the last thousands of years, the women who are the divine feminine host, we host majority of this energy, even though we also have the divine masculine, but we host this divine feminine. We have also been particularly targeted in terms of oppression and suppression, in terms of the divine feminine, particularly the women, being violated, being suppressed, hurt, killed, and basically told to be second citizens of this world, indispensable, only will be consulted when it's necessary. And because of that, our world has just gotten to the point that we currently see it as. Right? So it's important for us to actually know the bigger experience of what's happening so we may see what's happening in our individual life. Right? So the divine principle of creation of unconditional love has been attacked because that is the very essence that connects us to God. Right? It's the divine, the divinity that ensures that we are connected to God, we are connected to each other. Right? And because of this suppression of the divine feminine through, the violation, physical and sexual violations of women through a very specific form of slavery that has been perpetuated within women, that comes through the patriarchal system, that also comes through the financial system, and even the health system, the education system. Just like when you think about what we are taught as women, it is not to expand us, it is not to help us feel more connected, it is to continuously make us feel separate. As young girls, we were taught to feel that we're in competition with other women, you know, and the world, from the moment you are born as a baby girl, seems like a harsh place, an unsafe place, because you're going to have to prove yourself as a good enough girl for your parents, you know, through the activities that you do in the household. You're going to have to also do the same with your friends, also with men, because men are drawn to the good girl. This is what we're told. And um, it's a form of ensuring that the divine feminine does not create in her most authentic, natural way, because the divine feminine is actually very much drawn to community. And so the very idea that we see each other as women um, as like enemies, if that's not the word, enemies, it's very foreign, it's false, it's not how we are actually, right? The sisterhood wounds that we have, they're not how it's supposed to be. And all this is to delay us, the divine feminine, from actually experiencing our true gifts as the divine feminine, as those who give birth to human souls, who also have the ability to create and receive abundance just organically by just being you, you know, because you are literally a portal of unconditional love. Like, if you get that, like, you're a portal of unconditional love, that if you are in your true space, essence as a divine feminine, just love will just circulate around you, and you don't need to do anything, because you are a portal, you are like a lighthouse that just draws love in. And if you are feeling like, but Joy, that's not my experience, and that's because there's been distortions, violations that have happened to you as a divine feminine, that has also happened to the divine feminine of your bloodline, of your ancestry, where now in your own DNA, you don't feel safe, you know, to actually hold love, be love in the world, because we are told that's unsafe. So we suppress this very natural, intuitive things we know how to do, which is to love each other, to call, to create communities, to be with each other from a pure innocence and pure experience of love. Right. And in fact, many times we will prefer not to talk about the fact that we all, as women particularly, desire this deep intimacy union with the sacred masculine, because that's how we were designed, you know, to want to experience that, union with a masculine, someone who's hosting the masculine energies, right? So there has been so much that has happened to the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And in the last thousands of years, even though there's been that suppression, there's been a crackling of energy coming up. And this crackle of energy, I've spoke about this in a conversation I had with Auslebo in her podcast, about how this particular time that we are in is the awakening of the cosmic mother. She's waking up, and when we say she's waking up, what we mean is that, like, I can be very technical with this, so let me know if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to try to break down what we mean when we say the cosmic mother is back, the divine feminine is back, right? And it's a little bit quantum science spiritual, sacred science, sacred spirituality. So the world, this planet is alive, and it is made up of the same kind of systems that we have in our body, like the way we were learning about the chakra system. The earth itself has what's called ley lines, grid lines, all around it, all across it. And these grid lines, if you think of the earth as like a literal body, it has, if we have muscles, it also has muscles somewhere. If we have sacred chakras, it also has the same thing. And we are actually, we are a mirror of the earth, you know. So what is happening in the earth happens in our lives as well. This is why there's been a lot of influence and studying of the planets and how they influence us, and the moons and so forth, right? And in the same way that there is particular seasons you go through, where a particular point of your identity or your development is the focus. Like, for example, when we were in our teenagehood, we are focusing on developing particularly the sexual reproductive system. That was the attention, and we were focusing on attractions to boys and so forth. That was the focus. The same is happening with our earth. It has its particular focuses. That's organic. It's meant to grow like that. However, there's been the word that's coming up is a hijacking of the natural progression of Earth. The way it has now developed is not how it was meant to develop. And it's because we've had beings, forces that have felt like it's important for them to control the children of this planet. And that has delayed the natural organic way of us experiencing what's actually truly happening. And now the earth has also been grieving in the same way we've been grieving this hijacking that has happened to her. And she's been healing herself throughout thousands of years. And she's gotten to a point where she has repaired herself enough to turn back on the divine feminine energies that have always been there, that were the ones that got turned off by these forces that hijacked our planet, right? These forces are essentially forces that are not connected to God. Like, we can get so technical and feel like, is it like beings, and have images of that, but it's really more of anything that has disconnected, has chosen that it does not want to be connected to the Godhead. It falls from experiencing the universal logos or solar logos, which are things like love, peace, wisdom, and it focuses. Then if you are separate from that, you will experience lack, poverty, suffering, because you are not actually working with the original ways that you were designed, right? So when we are suffering, we know that something is off. This is not how it's supposed to happen. And that's because, particularly say in Africa, we were turned away from our natural and organic way of connecting with our God. And our ancestors have been that intermediary pathway. And when that got disconnected, then we were disconnected from God, the true way that our DNA experiences God. And that has created some of the chaos we see here in our continent, in our lives as Black people, right? So the same thing has happened with the collective, all of us, where we were just in the way that Black people were disconnected from their ancestors and history and wisdom. Humanity has been disconnected from the divine feminine, which is the unconditional love aspect of ourselves, right? And the earth is healing, and she's bringing back the universal logos, solar logos of the divine feminine, of creation, of abundance, of of joy, of instant, what we will call instant manifestation and miraculous healing, is actually the organic, natural way we are meant to exist. Like the body was actually created in ways that it was meant to heal itself. But that has not been true for us. That is coming back. And the people who are ushering this in, it is us, the women, who are holding the portal for earth, because we are connected to her. She does this through us. And how she's inviting us to do this is she's inviting us to heal with her, to heal every foreign force, mistruth you are holding as a divine feminine that you and your ancestors were told is how things are supposed to be. And this means we get to heal all the stories that we hold about us women that are not true. And these are stories that we make because of the experiences, the violent experiences that we were forced to go through, right? And so let me know here, what are some of the wounds that you know you are holding, that you know your ancestors, the women in your bloodline were holding, that are wanting to be healed, that you may have not been able to look into, and now somehow you see them bubbling up and they're like in your face and they're inviting you to heal them. That's also not by coincidence. It's because we will heal this planet through every one of us healing. And each time we do, we clear out this. We just will naturally experience the things that are natural, that we are all meant to experience, and we will experience them the more we heal ourselves. Is this one is my favorite. We are meant to be in divine unions with our soulmate twin flames, which is essentially when we were created by God, we were created in groups. And each group, there was the one who holds the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And that means we are part of actually one big soul. And each one of us, we feel in our heart that there is someone, like another aspect of myself, that I meant to be in union with, which we call the divine masculine. That union is supposed to happen. It's part of the prophecy of existing as a human being. But many of us know that has not been our experience, though. When we heal, and we heal this by first ourselves as the divine feminine, healing our inner masculine and our inner feminine. And we do this by recognizing that most of us, we neglected the inner feminine and we function with the inner masculine. And we need to bring them back to 50-50. And when you do come back to a union of the inner feminine and the inner masculine inside, you become a vibrational being who is vibrating at a specific frequency, and just naturally you will call in your soul family and they will just begin to come. This is like the divine masculine that we are all looking for. They come, the more we heal, the more they vibrationally in the frequency, in God's timeline, God will bring them to us, because we are actually meant to be whole, to be with each other, and to do the mission of bringing love back to our planet together. All right, so this is one of the things that we are meant to experience, that we know it's organic. Another thing we're meant to experience is that the divine feminine and her intuition, her ability to see future probabilities, timelines, her ability to share and access wisdom in the interdimensional realms. This comes to her naturally because she's a portal of creation. We are meant to intuitively know which medicine to give someone so they may heal. This is the original ways, but so many of us, that has been suppressed. And a lot of us, particularly the healers, we are afraid of it, in fact, our intuition. And that's also because of the experiences of suppression and pain in our ancestry, of every woman who was a healer, who the world shunned, who the world killed, oppressed, violated in ways that our blood remembers. We remember this, like we feel just the pain. Whenever you tell people I'm a healer, they just like, and there's always that danger. We must then heal these inorganic fears that are within us, so we may return to the medicine women that are everywhere. But so many of us, we disconnected from that because we're like, it's not safe. So now there's that invitation that it's time, though, to return to your psychic and intuitive ways, right? And the last one I think of is through our womb. If our womb is not holding the pain and the suffering and the disappointment, we organically create human beings, we create life, we also create experiences that feel joyful and abundant. And we, as the divine feminine, we are actually not really meant to go out into the world and prove and build things. In our natural state, when we're in our divine feminine energy, we actually just naturally magnetize these experiences of joy and abundance. When we are working with the codes that are held in our womb, when the womb is a safe space for us, when we've healed it and we teach, reteach, re-educate our womb that it's actually safe to desire. It's actually safe to want abundance of love, of friendships, of money, of what else is there? Abundance in all its form. When we do that with the womb and we listen to the womb, we are led by the womb, which also connects us directly to God. Because one of the other things that I have come to realize is when you are in your high mission and you are working with your natural gifts that are already within you, and you've released the fears that you have, the fears of being seen, the fears of not being loved, not being appreciated, and you realize that you will be loved because that's who you are loved. If you release this, abundance organically happens through you, because abundance actually does not come from us. It comes from our ancestors, our council of higher self. It comes from God, right? So the issue that we are having with struggling to create this is actually the deep disconnection that we have to our divine feminine powers and to our divine feminine gift, as well as connecting to our higher realms, higher self, and higher Godhead, essentially. Right? Yes. I know apparently when I start talking, I can make people feel sleepy because I am actually transmitting some deep wisdom. Let me know if you're falling asleep. Please check in right now. What's moving through you? What are you feeling? And what's coming up for you right now, right? And please begin to send me in some questions, and we are going to do an activation. And this activation is an introduction to a body of work I am doing actually next month, the end of November and beginning of December. I am very much called to the divine feminine and us properly ushering and receiving and allowing ourselves to be supported by Earth Mother, our Mother Earth, as well as the Godhead, higher realms, and so on. and actually returning to ease and grace and our purity and our innocence and our natural intuitive psychic gifts that we are afraid of, because this is the thing, it's more about our fear and the need to release our fear. And this is done through us healing and working with the divine grandmothers, working with the of your lineages, the divine grandmothers of the land, the divine grandmothers that are etheric beings that are currently working with all women all across, and all those who are really needing and calling in them, they will come. Right. So I am doing this series next month on every Sunday. We're going to go deeper into some of the things I've been talking about, because I know it was a huge chunk of information that can be overwhelming, but it is time for us to heal the inner experiences of our childhood and the inner experiences of our ancestors, particularly those who were women who went through a lot of violence. And this is called retrieval work, when we retrieve these aspects of ourselves that are lost in time, so we can become whole, and then we can recalibrate and become, return to the original blueprint of our divinity as the feminine. Right. And we're also going to do the inner masculine and inner feminine work. This one is so important. We are not here to suppress again the divine masculine. That's not our interest. Our interest is to balance these energies within us, because they exist within every human being. We are ushering this, and we will later support the men if they're willing to also help them return to the inner feminine. For us, we must heal the painful inner masculine and then return to the inner feminine and have that balance, right? And the last one is on soul missions, our soul mission, our intuition, our true psychic gifts. They are, in general, most of us women, we're probably using like 30% of our gifts in general, or less. We are so powerful, as Nicole Lely was saying on Tuesday. We are beyond powerful, but we're so unaware of this. And we're so afraid. And it's time to release these fears and to step into this, because through us, we will heal entire lineages, we will heal entire lands, we will heal our continent and the entire planet, if we allow ourselves to know that it's safe to be the powerful woman that you are, right? And of course, we can't jump this without looking at our traumas. So we're going to be doing a lot of that in the coming in the workshop that I'll be doing. It's a series, and if you want to know more about it, it's there in my website now. I want you to go check it out. It's an offering that I'll be doing in 3 separate Sundays. Each one has a different theme, and it's gonna be powerful. I feel it. We are coming together as a group, and we're going to heal. It's going to be beautiful. So go check out in the website more details on this. So I want to just talk about like the questions that I received on Instagram about what we would like to clear and activating our intuition, healing our emotional reactivity, healing the body and the weight that we put in as women, and healing the womb. These are very, very deep, painful spaces that we are in. What I've realized is whenever I have found myself struggling with something, whether that's intuition or my body or money, I'm struggling to make money in my business, there is a deeper feeling of unsafety, where I feel unsafe and where I feel I'm safer being small. And sometimes I'm safer being big in body, because actually the world actually does not see people who are bigger. So sometimes as women, we pack on weight because of that. We want to hide. There is a very deep need for us as the divine feminine to hide. And we do it constantly in many ways. We hide in our relationships through not speaking our truth, not sharing the depth of who we really are. We hide in our businesses, our offerings, when we do not share with people our gifts and what we're able to do, when we don't allow other people to have the opportunity to heal with us as their guides, right? It's very important for us to frame it like that, so we understand that when we are sharing about our works out there in the world, we are not in like the matrix where we are trying to sell. We are actually here creating opportunities for as many of us, particularly Black people, to heal, because some of us, we have done the training and we've received the activations, and we can do something, right? So, but if we're struggling with that, most of the wounds operating is this: it's not safe for me to be seen. They will come for me and they will laugh at me. So we have the wound of persecution, the wound of humiliation that operates for most of us, that we will be humiliated. So best we don't show them, we don't express this, right? And the wound of disappointment, that people will not understand you, that there is something strange and different about you, right? And when we are younger, we probably romanticize being different and weird. But as we grow, we actually realize this is a pain body. We feel pain that people don't seem to understand us. We seem to feel the world differently, right? And this is what holds us back from stepping into the true self, the true divine feminine. Let me check again. So we could do this the divine masculine way of just going to the gym and fighting with our body, or we could also add in, we're not removing going to the gym, but we're now adding in the questions of what am I hiding through this body, right? Why does my inner child feel safe by being big bodied? Um, and that's where the answer and the healing is supposed to go. Right? I know myself, I've hidden a lot with my body because I thought I'm safe. Because when I was a young child, men will sexualize me. So I pack on weight to become even invisible to them. Right? So for you, what is that? What actually makes you feel safer with more weight? Right? And the conversation of abundance is so deep that I could spend an entire week talking about abundance. But it's very important for us as the divine feminine to know that our lack of interest in money and this world, although organically we're not driven into the material like the divine masculine, there's still the deep way that we seem to feel like we don't want money, we're afraid of it, we don't want to interact with it, is based on the financial slavery that needs women depending on men to perpetuate the patriarchal society. And we need to get that we are more controllable when we do not have these resources. And we're not able to heal our mother and heal the children of this planet if we do not have resources, right? And there is obviously so much deeper things happening with money. But if you move away from um, feeling that you are doing something wrong by charging for your offering, by sharing with people your offerings and informing them, just look at what's happening underneath and know that there is a part of it that is society wanting to keep us, the healers, quiet, in suffering, in poverty, in lack, so we do not heal as many people. We don't help as many people return to that true self. That for me was the biggest shift. Like, it really made me feel pissed off, because that's called the slavery consciousness, where we become slaves to the system that we're part of, where we keep working for the men. We just keep working for our basic needs. And because of that, we never get opportunities to tune into our true gifts, which for us, the women, is within our intuition, within our ability to heal and create, right? So there's a need to recognize the woundedness of the divine patriarchal system that we're in. Well, I wouldn't call it divine, but yeah. Okay. Let me see some of your questions. And we will do an activation. And let me know what's coming up for you, my loves. Yes. Hello, Warrior Constance. So speaking about resenting the feminine and the sensual self, because men will take advantage and abuse. Yes. And having went through that kind of violation and with your ancestors, it makes you fear your sensuality and your beauty for that fear. Yes. And I think every woman can resonate with that. And how other women seem to also attack other women who are allowing themselves to adorn and basically express themselves. Yeah, it creates a sense of unsafety. Yes. So I think the most important thing when we are beginning to heal our divine feminine is to recognize that these fears are actually deliberately being created in our emotional psyche, right? There is particular groups of people who benefit from women being afraid of their sexuality, right? Women being afraid of their sensuality, women being afraid of that gift. Because when we are afraid of it, we then continue to have the world that we have, which is very self-oriented, which is service to self instead of service to all. Because if women really stepped and we really stepped into our power, we can change this planet in just a couple of years. Because in our intuition, we do think about others. We're driven to think about others. You know, that's the gift, but also that is what they fear. Our ability to feel for all. Right. So it's important to recognize that we are enslaved. Right? I'm trying to look for a better word to say this, but yes, us not stepping into our gifts is a form of slavery. It's actually a very deep, painful slavery because we do not realize that we are enslaved. And part of you awakening is moving beyond your physical self. We spoke about this in the last month, about recognizing that you are a divine spiritual being and that you are infinite. And because you are infinite, what they do to the body, that suppression, we can transcend it. It's painful, yes, when we go through these experiences, and we will heal them and we should heal them, but we must move beyond identifying with our body and what happens to our body, because these are just vessels. They're not the true self. So whatever someone has done to you, to the body, not to you, to the body, is not a reflection of your true self. Divine self is a divine feminine, is a divine human altogether. And this does take work, right? Moving beyond just, we say this all the time, we're spiritual beings, but it's really, really time that we really comprehend what we mean by this. And we bring this into our daily practice every day of, I am a divine spiritual self. I am beyond this material body. I'm beyond the experiences that are happening in my life right now. And tapping into the divine self who is beyond this, who can see and feel beyond what's currently happening, and working with that frequency, that energy, that aspect of yourself with everything that's happening in your life, right? Because this is what I feel. I feel like anything else is us bypassing and just still being in the program, in the world of limitation, but then we just convince ourselves we're healed. We need to transcend and move beyond the material and the body. In your heart, in your mind, you need to know this to be true so that we don't get caught up with the ego. Because when we are in the ego, it's very easy to feel powerless, which is what they want from us. Yeah. So this is the question you're asking of, how do we feel safe and be in a space of safety and confidence? It's also similar to the question we received on Instagram of inner calmness. So for me, what has worked after doing this for so many years and trying to figure out how can I feel safe in the world, it's the only safety that you would ever truly feel is when you return to your inner spirit and when you return to God. Like, it's very like, sounds very religious and very like, Joy, this is very philosophical, but it's very, very simple, really. If you consistently, despite everything happening to your body, to your life, you constantly return to the fundamental truth that there is a creator who created you, and that this creator has created all this magnificent, beautiful earth, this entire multiverse, universe, and you are part of that, and that this creator really seemed to have thought a lot about everything, even the fact that as humans we have two eyes. So this creator must have really thought a lot about you also to create you, to have you here, and to deeply trust that. Because the truth is, we will never feel safe in the world, like, because there will always be some kind of event happening currently, but we can feel safe in the spirit. There's safety in spirit, there's safety in our ancestors, there's safety in the higher self, safety in God. That's the only safety I know of. Everything else I'll say to you, it's just to soothe you, but it's just a trick. It's like yeah, it's just, it's not a real feeling of safety. So the question of, what about the betrayal to my heart? You are free, and you should feel that betrayal and heal that betrayal in the many different ways that you can heal it. But eventually it is to drop the idea that others have betrayed you, which is not something you can get when you are in your mind, right? But to move to the realization that if fundamentally we were all created by God and we are all one thing, and that any action that is done to you by another being, it is done because that other being has clearly forgotten that we are all of us, we are all God, we are of God, we are the children of God. And if they have betrayed you, they have betrayed themselves. If you can recognize that it's really not about you, it is about the other person having forgotten to be in union with God, and so failing to see you as another aspect of themselves, which sounds very woohoo the first time you hear it, but it's a thing we can practice to know that truly any action done to you by another person in its core has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And so why must you identify with an action that they did when they had forgotten who they truly are? Because whatever has happened clearly is not the truth. You are not whatever. If they treated you in ways that made you not feel good enough, that is not true, because your good enoughness is not determined by the actions other people take with regards to you. Your good enoughness is a standard thing that you just are, and you don't need to prove that. No one needs to do anything for you to know this. Right? Yeah. Yes. Mm. You're welcome, Coco. Constance. So I feel like I could go forever with the divine feminine, but I want us to actually now just do the activation. And this activation is an activation of within you, there is a guardian, an aspect of you that holds your natural code as a divine feminine, right? And this energy is, it can come to you as a higher self. It can come to you as an ancestor, you know, it can come to you as a spirit animal, it can come to you as God himself, herself, right? But I know this to be true. There are specific codes, blueprints you were born with as a woman that you're meant to give birth to in this world. And those gifts, typically, you will be wounded with relation to them. So in many ways, it means in your wound, that's where your gift is. When you see what your wound is, that's where you are also holding your CD. And you are the reason, one of the reasons why we experience the particular wounds that we have as the divine feminine. It is because when we finally do heal those wounds, those are the very things we will later help others to heal, because we ourselves went through them. That's usually how we are called, through our wounds. All right, so we're just going to do a brief activation. And this brief activation, it is around the healing of the wounds and the activations of the gifts and the activation of your original divine feminine blueprint. And this will take us 15 minutes, so it won't be long. So let's get comfortable wherever we are. Let me know if you are ready to do this now. Yay! Okay, so for this, If possible, if you could have your feet in the ground and have your back straight, if that's possible. If you are in the bed, the likelihood that you will sleep are very, very high, even though we're doing a short activation. So trying to be upright and closing your eyes now. This activation will be with Earth Mother and the other cosmic mothers that work with her to help the divine feminine heal. So with your eyes closed, take a deep breath in and out. And return to your higher heart. And in your higher heart, return to the grounding cord. And begin to notice the grounding cord going down as a thread, as a root, connecting you to the earth. And begin to see, as we open the portal with the Cosmic Mother using the Sophia Christus architecture, see a stargate, which is a gate that looks like a star that is gold in front of you. The stargate is glowing with Sophia Christus flame, with ruby red color, emerald green light, electric blue light, diamond light, white light, all moving in and out of each other like a rainbow. And begin to see and know that it is safe in the sacred container for your light body, which is your spirit self, to move from your body into the stargate. This is a stargate that is held by the Holy Spirit. And enter the stargate. And as you do, you will begin to feel the flames moving in your body, releasing anything you are holding that is not in alignment with God, truth, and love. And as you walk, you will find yourself in the most beautiful ancient forest. And in the forest, you will notice that all the trees go as far as the sky. These are the biggest trees you've ever seen. They kiss the heavens. You will also begin to see in front of you your spirit animal, which might appear bigger than normal. Your spirit animal will be the animal that has stepped forward that you see in your mind's eye now. It is here to guide and support you in this journey. And you will see your feet in the ground. You will smell the air, the rain. You will feel the wind in your face. And you will see the gigantic birds flying about in this ancient and old forest. Here is the original blueprint of the earth that is not contaminated with distortion. Here, the earth is with her original blueprint of the divine feminine. And in front of you, you will see the biggest tree. It might be a tree you are familiar with that you know. It might be a different strange tree. And when you look, you will notice a door. And you will go into the door and enter the tree. And as you enter the tree, it feels like you are moving up of the tree, and all around you there are stars, crystals, Sophia stars supporting you until you find yourself settling down at the very base of the tree. And when you sit down, in front of you there is a being, and this being is Earth Mother. This is the true Mother in human form. She will appear to you in human form. Notice what she is wearing and allow yourself to be here with her. As Earth Mother sends you a transmission right now about the divine feminine wounds that your soul is here to heal. She will show you, she will tell you these divine feminine wounds. Earth Mother will also show you the wounds that are stored in your bloodline from all the women before you. And as you see this, you may begin to also see the ancestors who are holding this, as well as the ancestral helping spirits and guides who will help you with these particular wounds in your bloodline. Allow yourself to see and receive the transmission of the entire bloodline now. And now, as you are receiving this transmission, we would like to ask your ancestral helping spirit and Earth Mother, those of the luminous timeline and the God timeline, to help you in this moment to heal, recalibrate, release these wounds. And they will do this in the ways of your people. So allow yourself to be healed by your ancestral helping spirits in the ways of your people. And now we ask that this healing continue into the dream state in alignment with your higher self. As you feel called, you may make that intention if that resonates with you. If not, we ask that the healing be completed now. And for those who are feeling resonant, may continue to do this in the dream state tonight, so the wounds may be healed even more deeply. And you may just opt in and just inform your ancestral helping spirit what you desire. And now Earth Mother comes, and she has an artifact or an object which she gives to you now. And this artifact object is the blueprint of your gift and your mission here as a divine feminine, and how you are meant to bring this mission into the world. When you receive this artifact, Earth Mother, the divine feminine of your ancestry, are going to hold this with you. And we will invite in the Crystal Sophia races to come and join you now. We invite in the inner Earth Mothers to join you now. The divine grandmothers of your blood, of the land that you are from, the divine grandmothers of the entire race who are in alignment with the God timeline to come and join. And when they all hold this with you, you will begin to remember and see and know what the mission, the gifts are, and how you're meant to bring this to the earth, knowing that you are deeply supported. And now beginning to remember. Good. Now we thank all the divine feminine that has come to witness this activation, the remembrance of your true timeline, of your gift, of the mission you're here to do on planet Gaia, Sophia, Mom Winty. And you may take this artifact and put it in your heart. And know that moving forward, you may return to this remembrance through returning to the heart. You may find strength in knowing that there are entire lineages, races, collectives of divine feminines across your bloodline, across the land, across the entire planet multiverse that are supporting you in the manifestation, realization of this mission that your soul is here and equipped to do in this timeline. And now we will close this activation by saying goodbye to the council of divine feminines that are here, saying goodbye to Earth Mother, Mom Wendy. And we begin to see ourselves floating up again as we say goodbye, going to the door of the tree, returning to the forest with more revelation coming as we walk back, as you say goodbye to this ancient true timeline of Gaia Sophia. As you return back, and as you move into the stargate, you're going to once again release any heaviness that has come up for you with this activation. As you walk through the stargate, those flames will release all in your field as you begin to return to your body. Take a deep breath in and out. Again, in and out. And begin to move your body, hug yourself, and open your eyes. Welcome back. Welcome back, warriors. Thank you for journeying with me. How was your journey? Let me know what came up, anything you're feeling comfortable to share. If you received any revelation with maybe your mission, your gift, what was the object you received? Yes. Yes. How was your journey? Let me know as you guys are sharing in the comments. Whew, that was a journey. It's always so interesting for me because I actually never know what's going to happen with each activation. So I learn it as I go along, and I see the things before I say them. So I do not know we will call in that many collective, and we will do some brief healing, right? But it's always so good when these transmissions come. Yes. So please feel free to share anything that you feel comfortable sharing in the comment section. And if you are wanting to go deeper, especially if there are wounds that came up that you might be like, oh my God, that's so heavy. How am I going to do this? You may check out the Divine Feminine Activation with F Mother series that I am doing in November 29 until December 13. It's a 3-part series every Sunday from 3 to 6 p.m. For those 3 weeks, we will be doing activations via Zoom as a community. To be group healing, and we will be healing some of the things that I was speaking about. We will be connecting and working with Earth Mother, the Divine Feminine, the Cosmic Mother, and we are really going deeper into clarity in those workshops. You could think of them as workshops or group circles. So you can go into my website, Joy Mogami, under offerings. It's there. You can go read more about it. And if it resonates, you can register for the offering. The offering is a paid offering. So each workshop is $33. And if you want to do all the workshops, you will have a special investment that you would pay, which would be $77, right? I am open to have conversations with people who really, really want to do this, but at this point they're not able to send these offerings. I am understanding of everything that's happening, but these offerings that you will put in, if you are able to do that, it is offerings and thanks to my ancestors and my higher self and my inner child for the work that it takes actually for me to do this. So please go check that out, and you can share also with other Divine Feminine women. We will be really going deep, and it will be primarily healing, not a lot of talking, but healing. So come and let's go deeper into our healing, and let me know how this experience was for you in the comments, or if you feel more comfortable, you can also share with me in the DM if that will be more comfortable for you. Right? Yes. So Tuesday, we are back again with a guest, and we have a guest coming in from Kenya, and we're going to be talking about creating a meaningful and purposeful life, which is in alignment with today's topic, a little bit of that. So come through. He is an amazing gentleman, divine masculine, who is very passionate about this topic from Kenya. And on Friday, we will be having an amazing divine feminine coming in from Nigeria. And we will be talking about storytelling as medicine and libation. She is just so brilliant. And we're going to go into pre-colonial history with that and how stories have been used as part of archiving and medicine for us as the Black community and Black races. So these are the next coming masterclasses we're doing next week, and there will be many more coming as well, and I will share with you. But if you are feeling called, come and join us every day every Tuesdays and Fridays, not every day, my God, at 5 p.m. until 6 p.m. unless stated otherwise in the email, which you should definitely subscribe to. We are usually doing them at that time. So you can follow us. When I say us, I just really mean me. Me and my ancestors in our website, subscribe to our newsletter, Follow us on YouTube. We're also putting these on YouTube as well as Podbean. So Warriors of Light, Joy Mogami on YouTube. We also have a Warriors of Light page on Instagram. It will really, really mean a lot to have your support, you liking, sharing with your community, just so that we can really do. This is my mission. My mission is to archive African spirituality, and I will really appreciate your support through your shares, through liking, through commenting, and essentially being part of this community with me. Yes. Okay, thank you so much, warriors. I hope you had an experience, the perfect experience. Let me see. Coco, Constance, and then I will say goodbye. Yes, being your true self. That's the thing about your gifts. You will never really receive something out of the blue. It's always something that you already are. Wow, a moonstone bracelet. Oh, I love that, Coco Constance. She is saying fear, feelings of unsafety, needing to hide are not of God. Yes, yes, yes. That is the gospel. They are not of God, definitely. What is of God is your sense of love, knowing that you are safe to be your true self, that you are safe to be seen, to be loved, to be part of community, and to be in unions with your whoever you desire to be in union with. Yes. I'm very happy for you, Gogo Constance. And Mbali, hello, Mbali. I was given a message to give love, continue with my prayer, and introduce you to healing my body. Amazing, beautiful. Thank you for joining, and as well as Lindway, you received a wooden barrel with water. Yes, you water woman. I love that. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with me. Thank you for honoring the call of your spirit by joining us every other time we're doing this and just being here with me. I absolutely adore, love you, and am grateful for your support. Okay. Bye, my love.